3 years ago, in front of our friends. He mocked me. Love-struck fool? Just playing around. No one is serious. I was stunned. And on my way home, I stumbled and broke my leg. Years later, I sent wedding invitations at the class reunion. I'm getting married soon. Hope everyone will come celebrate. When the invitation reached him, he casually brushed it off with a cold laugh. Who gave you the nerve to marry someone else? He didn't know that the groom on the invitation was sitting right across the room, calmly observing everything. You are listening to the story, I Can Live Without You, on the HeartVoice channel. If you like it, please give me a like and subscribe. No one expected Emily Turner to be the first to marry. She used to be very obedient. But after being dumped, now having someone willing to marry her is considered lucky. I clenched the invitation tightly, ignoring the whispers around me. I'm getting married next month. Hope everyone will come celebrate. From beginning to end, that cold gaze was fixed on me, not leaving for even a second. I knew he would come. James Carter, my first love, now a young businessman, immensely powerful. I held out the red and gold wedding invitation in front of him. Summoning all my courage, I looked straight into his eyes. James Carter, welcome. He was silent, not saying a word for a long time. Everyone around held their breath, intently watching us. After all, that year, our breakup had been quite a scandal. He once stood before many people and mocked me as a hopeless romantic. It shocked me so much that, on my way home, I missed a step, fell down the stairs, and broke my leg. After that, I had to go abroad for treatment. Lisa Miller, the one sitting next to me, suddenly laughed and asked, Emily, has your leg healed yet? I hesitated a bit, then answered vaguely, it still hurts when it rains. In fact, the condition was worse than that. The injury affected the entire joint. She held James Carter's arm and smiled softly. Sorry, I'm apologizing on his behalf. My hand clenched the wedding invitation. On his behalf? She covered her mouth, chuckling softly. Has no one told you? He and I are getting married. I consider myself very lucky. I held the invitation, suddenly unsure how to react. Lisa Miller, my closest friend. Back then, she was the one who understood me best. My closest companion. And now, it's old news. Emily, just give him the invitation. People began to reconcile, trying to ease the tense atmosphere. Suddenly, James Carter reached out and bluntly pushed the invitation away. A smirk curled at his lips as he laughed. Who gave you the nerve to marry someone else? The entire room fell silent instantly. Suddenly, all around was quiet. Even Lisa Miller's expression changed. My mind went blank, and I blurted out, why can't I get married? For years, I endured enough mockery and humiliation from others. Is that still not enough? James Carter chuckled softly, his tone gentle. My dog I throw away isn't even allowed to find a new owner. Do you think you can? Carter. A low, calm voice rang out from the head of the room. In the silent space, the sound was even clearer. Michael Thompson slowly raised his eyelids. His tone gentle. Enough. 2 words. Decided everything. No one dared to object. After all, this man was far more successful than James Carter. Since school days, he had been a cold genius. Distant and unreachable. After graduation, he only appeared on TV and financial magazines. James Carter and he had a decent relationship, so no further trouble was stirred. But he snatched the wedding invitation from my hand, opened it, then raised an eyebrow with a smile. Thompson, what a coincidence. Her fiancé is also a Thompson. I really want to meet him. See which kind of god he is. The name on the invitation, Michael Thompson. Is that so? Michael Thompson took a sip of wine, smiling softly. Indeed, quite a coincidence. He didn't stay long, quickly leaving after a phone call. Busy with countless matters, his presence at this party was already rare. I found an excuse and quietly followed him. At the door, the driver had already opened the door of a Rolls-Royce for him. Mr. Thompson. I ran after him, out of breath. Hearing the call, he stopped and turned back. Under the cold white streetlight, The sharp features of his face became even colder and more distant. Tonight? Thank you. No need to thank me. His voice was indifferent. We are about to marry. You can make it public anytime. I opened my mouth, but didn't know what to say. The day I returned to New York City, completely alone with nowhere to turn, I accidentally ran into Michael Thompson's car on the street. The first thing he said to me was, "Back to see James Carter?" I smiled bitterly. "He is getting married," he replied calmly. With his controlling nature, "It will be hard for you to live peacefully here." Then casually threw out an olive branch. "I'm missing a fiancé to deal with the family. Think it over." I didn't understand why I nodded then. Actually, I wasn't sure what he wanted from me. Nor did I dare to rely on him to cause trouble. Just wanted to live quietly. Michael Thompson was the name he used before. Also the name recorded in the family registry. Few people knew this. "Sorry for bothering you tonight." He looked at me intently for a long time, as if wanting to say something, but finally only said indifferently, "Message me when you get home." I turned to get my things but was stopped by a group of old classmates to chat. At 8 o'clock in the evening, it suddenly rained heavily. Everyone got stuck. Finally rented rooms in the hotel to stay temporarily. "Is it over?" Michael Thompson sent 3 words. Brief and typical of him. "I'm at the hotel." Long after, he sent another message. "Send me the room number. If you're sleepy, just sleep first." I sent the message and curled up under the blanket. Not sure if it was coincidence or intention. James Carter and Lisa Miller's room was right next to mine. This hotel had poor soundproofing. Lisa Miller's laughter pierced through the wall. It was painfully loud. She was afraid I wouldn't hear, deliberately raising her shrill voice. "Carter, remember? On her birthday. We stayed right next door." "Shut up. Too noisy." James Carter's voice was low and hoarse, mixed with boredom. I was stunned. Suddenly I recalled the first year we were together. That was my birthday. After midnight, he disappeared. Lisa Miller couldn't reach him either. A sudden wave of nausea hit. My eyes stung. Actually, I wasn't sure how much I still liked James Carter. I just spent my entire youth on him, only to become a joke in the end. A long time later, he sent another message. "Send me the room number. If you're sleepy, just sleep first." I sent the message and curled up under the blanket. Not sure if it was coincidence or intention. James Carter and Lisa Miller's room was right next to mine. This hotel had poor soundproofing. Lisa Miller's laughter pierced through the wall. It was painfully loud. She deliberately raised her shrill voice, fearing I wouldn't hear. "Carter, remember? On her birthday. We stayed right next door." "Shut up. Too noisy." James Carter's voice was low and hoarse, mixed with boredom. I was stunned. Suddenly, I recalled the first year we were together. That was my birthday. After midnight, he disappeared. Lisa Miller couldn't reach him either. A sudden wave of nausea hit me. My eyes stung. Actually, I wasn't sure how much I still liked James Carter. I just spent my entire youth on him, only to become a joke in the end. The noise from the next room grew wilder. Lisa Miller's voice was full of provocation. At that moment, my door suddenly opened. A tall figure cast a long shadow in the hallway light. The cold air from outside poured in. My eyes were red and blurry as I looked at the man in front of me. "Mr. Thompson, why are you here?" Michael Thompson glanced at me indifferently. "This hotel is not safe." I'm uneasy. I don't know if it was an illusion, but today he didn't seem happy. His whole presence radiated coldness, as if wanting to distance himself from everything. The next room immediately fell silent. He looked me up and down, slowly asked, "Uncomfortable? Huh? I can help you change rooms." I quickly waved my hand. "No need. It's late. You have to work tomorrow. Rest early." Only after saying this did I realize I had booked a double room, and my act of pulling back the blanket earlier looked like inviting him to bed. The atmosphere immediately became awkward. Michael Thompson's eyes glanced at my fair legs, then quickly turned away and called his secretary. "Book another room." Suddenly, Lisa Miller's scream rang out from the next room, louder and sharper. A burst of anger suddenly flared up. I instinctively reached out, grabbed Michael Thompson's shirt, and whispered, "It's okay, just sleep here." As soon as I finished speaking, his eyes became deep, even carried a hint of danger. My face instantly flushed. Was I a bit too straightforward? Sorry, I didn't mean that. Okay. Michael Thompson casually hung up. Are you going to shower first? Bang. A loud noise came from the next room, along with Lisa Miller's shrill scream. My phone suddenly vibrated. It was James Carter's number. I didn't answer. Then my phone vibrated again with a message. The message appeared on the screen. Emily Turner. Give me 3 minutes. Come out here. Michael Thompson pressed his lips, a cold smile curling on his mouth. Busy. Huh. Before I could say anything, he suddenly stood up, took off his watch, loosened his collar. I was stunned, stammered. What are you doing? A familiar cold scent quickly enveloped me. Miss Turner, you invited me first. I'm just going along with it. My heart almost jumped out of my chest. The distance between us was too close. So close I could count every eyelash of his. Will it make a sound? He asked. Huh? My voice was as small as a mosquito's buzz. Michael Thompson chuckled softly and whispered, "Your voice is much more pleasant to hear than hers." Suddenly I realized what he wanted, and reflexively screamed. Ah! The scream was stiff and strange but made him laugh, as if praising me for doing well. Suddenly, James Carter's voice echoed from the next room. Low, mixed with suppressed anger. Emily Turner, pick up. Michael Thompson smirked, picked up my phone, and calmly said, "She's showering." A silence stretched like a century. James Carter quietly asked, "Michael Thompson?" "That's right." James Carter laughed coldly. "Want to die? I don't mind escorting you a bit." Michael Thompson smiled softly and brushed stray hair off my forehead. Such a big mouth. Hope your action skills are as quick as your surrender. Suddenly, a loud noise came from the next room, then fell silent again. I suddenly realized what I had done. Quickly stepped back and widened the distance between us. I'm sleepy. I'm going to sleep first. After saying that, I rolled to the other side of the bed, leaving a space for him. The gloomy atmosphere completely disappeared. Michael Thompson stared at the indentation in the blanket, not knowing what he was thinking. The room was strangely quiet. Only the sound of rain tapping outside the window. I closed my eyes, my heart still pounding wildly. Suddenly, the first time I met Michael Thompson appeared in my mind. At that time, I was still pursuing James Carter. At a New York University art performance, I danced a classical dance on stage. Michael Thompson was dragged there by James Carter, sitting in the front row. From beginning to end, his eyes never stopped on me for even a second. Cold, distant to the extreme. Later, I followed James Carter, met him a few times, but the number of conversations could be counted on one hand. I never thought that one day I would sleep in the same bed with him. I sighed softly. Can't sleep? His voice pulled me back to reality. I opened my eyes. He was sitting sideways, under the dim night light. The features on his face even sharper. Just like the first time I met him. I held the blanket tightly and whispered, "Mr. Thompson, why did you come looking for me?" He lowered his eyes and looked at me with pale pupils. "Why can't it be you? To me, everyone is the same. Acquaintances are even better." "Oh," I scratched my head, mumbling. "It's just, I feel that life is really unpredictable." Michael Thompson curled his lips into a faint smile. "Never thought we'd get married?" I nodded. "Yeah." He stared at me for a moment, then slowly said, "Emily Turner, I've never done anything outside my plans." I was stunned, not even able to react before Michael Thompson's phone suddenly rang. It was his secretary calling. "Mr. Thompson, tomorrow CEO Dow will be overseas. He's asking if the video meeting can be moved to now." Michael Thompson glanced at his watch. Exactly 1 in the morning. "All right, come pick me up. By the way," he looked at me calmly, "bring a hot compress bag." My heart trembled slightly. How did he know that every time it's gloomy and rainy, my knee hurts? "Mr. Thompson, you don't need to worry about me." "Not a bother." Michael Thompson pulled the blanket up for me, his tone still indifferent as usual. "Tomorrow I'll have the driver come pick you up." Try to avoid contact with James Carter. Really no need. I quickly refused. I can take care of myself. Don't let it affect your work. The driver's phone rang quickly, seemingly urged by the other side. Michael Thompson hesitated a bit, but in the end did not object. If anything dangerous happens, call me. Okay. He left. The hotel sent a robot with the hot compress bag to the room. Outside the window, the rain drizzled on until morning. I slept poorly and woke before 6. The sky was gloomy. I gritted my teeth, trying to move my aching knee. Dressed, and prepared to go to the hospital for a follow-up. Unexpectedly, while waiting for the elevator, someone appeared behind me, the scent of tobacco mixed with faint peppermint. Even with my eyes closed, I knew who it was. No one spoke. The tension was suffocating. Slept with him already? James Carter suddenly spoke, with a mocking tone. I crossed my arms, eyes fixed on the elevator's floor display. Calmly answered, yeah, his stamina is much better than yours. James Carter's face immediately darkened. Do you know who owns this hotel? He grabbed my wrist, forcing me to face him. Michael Thompson. As soon as I ask him to investigate. Do you think I won't find out? In no more than 3 days. I can dig out all the roots of Michael Thompson. He narrowed his eyes, voice full of provocation. Emily Turner, if I kill your fiancé, will you cry? I looked up, staring straight at him. You're the one playing with feelings. Is it wrong for me to leave? James Carter laughed coldly, his eyes full of sarcasm. Emily Turner, do you even deserve to criticize me? When you took the rent money I gave, why didn't you say anything? I was stunned. My voice choked. Money? What? 20,000. Transferred directly into your account. Or do I have to throw the evidence in your face before you admit it? 20,000? I rummaged through my memories. The only 20,000 I ever received was a graduation scholarship that Lisa Miller helped me apply for. I said seriously. That money was the scholarship Lisa Miller registered for me. James Carter looked at me with disgust. Emily Turner, do you know what I hate most about you? He brushed my hand away and stepped into the elevator. Lies. No remorse. The elevator doors closed in front of me. I stood there stunned. Before graduation day, Lisa Miller ran to tell me. Emily, the school is considering the Excellent Student Award. I've already registered you for 4 years as roommates. Our information always appeared on the same list. Helping each other with applications had become routine. Half a month later, Lisa Miller said, the reward money has been transferred directly into your account. Exactly 20,000. After that, I had an accident and didn't even have time to check the scholarship recipient list. I texted Lisa Miller. At that time, did you really help me apply for the scholarship? She replied quickly. Emily, what are you talking about? I never helped you apply for any scholarship. Miss Turner, sorry, with your current condition, I'm afraid you can no longer dance. I lost count how many times I heard doctors say this. Leaving the hospital, the rain started to drizzle outside. Classmates texted me. She told you directly. No recordings or messages as proof. You understand, right? Yeah, I know. Can't sue. I stood in the rain holding an umbrella and sighed softly. The resentment hadn't flared up yet but quickly turned to dust. A black Rolls-Royce passed through the rain and silently stopped in front of me. The window rolled down, revealing Michael Thompson's face. Tiny raindrops blurred our view. Only his calm voice was heard. Emily Turner, get in the car. I didn't expect him to specially come to pick me up. He was very busy, even sitting in the car. He was still handling work. What did the doctor say? He asked hurriedly. I tried to look comfortable. Oh, nothing serious. I'm recovering quite well. Michael Thompson glanced at me. Then asked, anything bothering you? He could tell. The smile on my face stiffened briefly. I twitched my lips and whispered, nothing. Then I lowered my head, afraid he'd see my red eyes. Emily Turner. Michael Thompson put down his phone. Look me in the eyes and speak. I was silent. The anger and frustration I had suppressed for so long suddenly burst out. Mr. Thompson, from now on, I won't be able to dance anymore. I forced a weak smile, my voice hoarse. Everyone thinks I took money from the Zhang family. But actually, Lisa Miller betrayed me. Only today did I find out. If everything had ended well, maybe the accident wouldn't have happened. I could have continued dancing. Michael Thompson stared intently at my faint strong face. His gaze grew colder. Trapped by others. Are you happy? I choked on my words. I lowered my head, unable to hold back the tears. Sorry. Not your fault. Michael Thompson was silent for a moment. Then slowly said, it's their fault. Raindrops fell, creating ripples on the water's surface. Spreading endlessly, never fading. Suddenly, I felt today wasn't so bad. At least, someone still believed in me. Before leaving, Michael Thompson said, don't worry about your leg. I'll find the best doctor. Thank you. He kept his usual indifferent look. No need. The car quietly left. Going upstairs, I received a call from an old classmate, saying she wanted to bring me some specialty food. I returned to the apartment gate, and soon saw her get out of a taxi, running toward me. Hey, did you hear? Because of you and James Carter, the class group is in chaos. As soon as we met, she excitedly started gossiping. I frowned. What happened? They're betting that within half a month, you'll get back with James Carter. I laughed. Are you kidding? Someone saw him arguing with Lisa Miller. It must be because of you. Are you really not going to see him? Actually, I should see him. I need to return the money to him. I also have to throw back the dirty words he poured on me. Facing your knowing gaze, I calmly said, I'll talk to him. There's a misunderstanding between us. My classmate immediately smiled. Right. Just be clear about it. I smiled, but as I turned, my eyes suddenly stopped. Not far away, a black Rolls-Royce was quietly parked by the roadside. It was Michael Thompson. Still hadn't left? I raised my umbrella and called, Mr. Thompson. Before I finished, the car suddenly started and sped away. My classmate curiously leaned in. What's wrong? I lowered my eyes and whispered. Nothing. Maybe he didn't hear. In the following days, I was busy with my new job, trying to adapt to the new environment. Coincidentally, my boss assigned me to negotiate cooperation at Michael Thompson's company. When finishing work, I happened to meet him coming out of the meeting room. Just about to greet, his eyes glanced past me, not stopping at all. Instead, his secretary nodded politely at me. Miss Turner, Mr. Thompson said to wait a moment. Ah, okay. I watched his back leave, feeling a little heavy inside. In the evening, the secretary came with an invitation. There's a party tonight. Mr. Thompson wants to know if you want to attend. If tired, I'll take you home. I calmly replied. No problem. I can attend. When I arrived, the party had already started. Just entering, I immediately saw Michael Thompson. He was so outstanding. Just standing there, he was the center of the party. At the same time, his eyes stopped on me. Amid the lively crowd, our eyes briefly met. I wore a very beautiful dress. Light yellow, the neckline designed delicately, slightly deeper than usual. The dress hugged the curves of my body. A sparkling blue necklace lay right on my collarbone, shining brilliantly. Michael Thompson looked at me, motionless. Only when someone beside him started talking did he withdraw his gaze and leave surrounded by people. I intended to step forward but was stopped by the secretary. He hesitated for a moment, then said, Miss Turner, Mr. Thompson heard about you wanting to get back with Mr. Carter that day. Although it's your personal matter, if there's a misunderstanding, it's better to clarify soon. Before finishing, he hurried after Michael Thompson, leaving me standing still. When I saw a banner with the Zhang Corporation logo, I realized this was James Carter's territory. He was creating an opportunity for me to meet James Carter again. Realizing Michael Thompson had misunderstood, I hurriedly lifted my dress, intending to run after and explain. At that moment, someone blocked my way. Good evening, miss. A middle-aged chubby man smiled brightly. I'm Mr. Thompson's uncle. You've probably heard of him, right? Turns out to be his elder. I politely nodded. Hello, sir. He raised his glass, eyes scrutinizing me from head to toe. You're very beautiful. Do you have a boyfriend yet? Realizing the impure intention, I immediately stepped back, keeping distance. Sorry, I have business. Excuse me. Before he could say anything, I quickly left. Just turning the corner, another person blocked me. Emily. Lisa Miller appeared out of nowhere. Probing. Was that just now your fiancé? No. No wonder he's a Thompson too. She said to herself, eyes gleaming with delight. The guy just now is Mr. Thompson's uncle. Heard there's a mistress outside. Who would have thought the mistress is you? Her voice was loud, quickly attracting attention. Whispers spread everywhere. I calmly looked at her. Are you done? Lisa Miller warmly held my hand, smiling brightly. What's wrong? Embarrassed since I exposed you? For 2 years you chased James Carter. I slept next to him every day. He stayed with you because I found it fun. Actually, you're the third party. You know? Once you get used to these things, it's nothing. The anger I'd bottled up these days finally erupted. In her triumphant gaze, I grabbed the nearby glass and poured it over her head. Crash. The glass fell to the floor, shattering. The space suddenly fell silent. Lisa Miller froze for a few seconds, then screamed sharply. Emily Turner, are you crazy? I stared at her coldly. Calm down yet? If not, there's plenty more water. No need to introduce yourself to me like that. You. Suddenly, I was pulled forcefully backwards, slammed into the banquet table. Michael Thompson stared intently at my feigned strong face. His gaze grew colder. Trapped by others. Are you happy? I choked on my words. I lowered my head, unable to hold back the tears. Sorry. Not your fault. Michael Thompson was silent for a moment, then slowly said, it's their fault. Raindrops fell, creating ripples on the water's surface, spreading endlessly, never fading. Suddenly, I felt today wasn't so bad. At least, someone still believed in me. Before leaving, Michael Thompson said, don't worry about your leg. I'll find the best doctor. Thank you. He kept his usual indifferent look. No need. The car quietly left. Going upstairs, I received a call from an old classmate, saying she wanted to bring me some specialty food. I returned to the apartment gate, and soon saw her get out of a taxi, running toward me. Hey, did you hear? Because of you and James Carter, the class group is in chaos. As soon as we met, she excitedly started gossiping. I frowned. What happened? They're betting that within half a month, you'll get back with James Carter. I laughed. Are you kidding? Someone saw him arguing with Lisa Miller. It must be because of you. Are you really not going to see him? Actually, I should see him. I need to return the money to him. I also have to throw back the dirty words he poured on me. Facing your knowing gaze, I calmly said, I'll talk to him. There's a misunderstanding between us. My classmate immediately smiled. Right. Just be clear about it. I smiled, but as I turned, my eyes suddenly stopped. Not far away, a black Rolls-Royce was quietly parked by the roadside. It was Michael Thompson. Still hadn't left? I raised my umbrella and called, Mr. Thompson. Before I finished, the car suddenly started and sped away. My classmate curiously leaned in. What's wrong? I lowered my eyes and whispered. Nothing. Maybe he didn't hear. In the following days, I was busy with my new job, trying to adapt to the new environment. Coincidentally, my boss assigned me to negotiate cooperation at Michael Thompson's company. When finishing work, I happened to meet him coming out of the meeting room. Just about to greet, his eyes glanced past me, not stopping at all. Instead, his secretary nodded politely at me. Miss Turner, Mr. Thompson said to wait a moment. Ah, okay. I watched his back leave, feeling a little heavy inside. In the evening, the secretary came with an invitation. There's a party tonight. Mr. Thompson wants to know if you want to attend. If tired, I'll take you home. I calmly replied. No problem. I can attend. When I arrived, the party had already started. Just entering, I immediately saw Michael Thompson. He was so outstanding. Just standing there, he was the center of the party. At the same time, his eyes stopped on me. Amid the lively crowd, our eyes briefly met. I wore a very beautiful dress. Light yellow, the neckline designed delicately, slightly deeper than usual. The dress hugged the curves of my body. A sparkling blue necklace lay right on my collarbone, shining brilliantly. Michael Thompson looked at me, motionless. Only when someone beside him started talking did he withdraw his gaze and leave surrounded by people. I intended to step forward but was stopped by the secretary. He hesitated for a moment, then said, "Miss Turner, Mr. Thompson heard about you wanting to get back with Mr. Carter that day. Although it's your personal matter, if there's a misunderstanding, it's better to clarify soon." Before finishing, he hurried after Michael Thompson, leaving me standing still. When I saw a banner with the Jong Corporation logo, I realized this was James Carter's territory. He was creating an opportunity for me to meet James Carter again. Realizing Michael Thompson had misunderstood, I hurriedly lifted my dress, intending to run after and explain. At that moment, someone blocked my way. "Good evening, miss." A middle-aged chubby man smiled brightly. "I'm Mr. Thompson's uncle. You've probably heard of him, right?" Turns out to be his elder. I politely nodded. "Hello, sir." He raised his glass, eyes scrutinizing me from head to toe. "You're very beautiful. Do you have a boyfriend yet?" Realizing the impure intention, I immediately stepped back, keeping distance. "Sorry, I have business. Excuse me." Before he could say anything, I quickly left. Just turning the corner, another person blocked me. Emily. Lisa Miller appeared out of nowhere, probing. "Was that just now your fiancé?" "No. No wonder he's a Thompson too," she said to herself, eyes gleaming with delight. "The guy just now is Mr. Thompson's uncle. Heard there's a mistress outside. Who would have thought the mistress is you?" Her voice was loud, quickly attracting attention. Whispers spread everywhere. I calmly looked at her. "Are you done?" Lisa Miller warmly held my hand, smiling brightly. "What's wrong? Embarrassed since I exposed you? For 2 years you chased James Carter. I slept next to him every day. He stayed with you because I found it fun. Actually, you're the third party. You know, once you get used to these things, it's nothing." The anger I'd bottled up these days finally erupted. In her triumphant gaze, I grabbed the nearby glass and poured it over her head. Crash! The glass fell to the floor, shattering. The space suddenly fell silent. Lisa Miller froze for a few seconds, then screamed sharply, "Emily Turner, are you crazy?" I stared at her coldly. "Calm down yet? If not, there's plenty more water. No need to introduce yourself to me like that." "You..." Suddenly, I was pulled forcefully backwards, slammed into the banquet table. A feather lightly brushed my heart. An uncomfortable itch. Suddenly, his phone rang. The familiar name appeared on the screen. James Carter. It was him again, each time like a relentless ghost clinging on. Without knowing where the courage came from, I snatched Michael Thompson's phone and answered. James Carter's voice echoed in the silent room. "She's not right for you. This woman will do anything to seduce you." Michael Thompson frowned, about to hang up, but I stopped him. He looked down at me, his voice hoarse. "Emily Turner, what do you want to do?" Amid James Carter's insults, I stood on tiptoe and kissed Michael Thompson. His hand gripped my waist tightly. His breath was hot. The clock's second hand ticked steadily, like a background melody weaving through the deep night. "Michael Thompson, are you listening?" Of course, he wasn't. Breath erratic, he picked me up and placed me on the dining table, removing his tie, taking advantage of the moment. The nighttime rain grew heavier. My voice was soft, like wet cotton. "Michael Thompson, am I seducing you?" He looked at me intently, his voice low and hoarse. "No, I'm seducing you." With that, he lowered his head and kissed me again. The phone on the shoe cabinet was knocked to the floor. The sound coming from it was now only James Carter's angry screams. The storm I stirred swept away all reason from us. He held my hand tightly, fingers slipping through mine, gripping firmly. "The phone still hasn't been turned off." I gently reminded him. "It's okay." His voice grew deeper. "Let him listen." The rain fell all night. Early morning, many green leaves were knocked off by the rain. Michael Thompson left early. I sat before the mirror, staring blankly at the marks on my neck for a long time. The phone suddenly lit up. A message from him. Awake yet? Good morning. Michael Thompson. Lunch together? Today I had a project and would conveniently pass by his company. So I didn't hesitate to agree. I quickly changed, opened the door, and stepped out. But in front of me was James Carter, with heavy dark circles under his eyes, amid a ground littered with cigarette butts. It seemed he had waited at the door all night. Hearing the noise, he staggered to his feet, his voice hoarse. Emily Turner. I immediately reacted, quickly closing the door, but he pushed in before I could. He leaned one hand against the doorframe, his sharp gaze locking onto me. Emily Turner, I know what you're thinking. You're with him just to get revenge, right? If you want to harm someone, aim for me. Don't drag Michael Thompson into it. He was truly hopelessly self-absorbed. I laughed coldly. Get lost. I already made it clear. We have nothing to do with each other. James Carter's voice was hoarse, his eyes bloodshot. This isn't your decision. You think returning the money ends it? I'll tell you, that won't happen. He pulled out a black card and threw it at my feet. This is enough to support you for life. Pick it up, then we can go back to how things were. At that moment, the hallway lights suddenly went out. The dim light made his expression hard to see clearly. But I just found it funny. Did he really not understand human language? Without hesitation, I kicked his knee hard. He cried out in pain and fell down. I bent over, looking coldly at him. Does it hurt? It still hurts less than what I suffered back then. I don't like you anymore. I advise you not to disgrace yourself. Saying that, I turned and walked away, leaving him behind. As I turned into the stairwell, James Carter's voice echoed from behind. Emily Turner, you think Michael Thompson is better than me? I snapped, turning to shout. He's more persistent than you. After that, not caring about James Carter's darkened face, I rushed down the stairs. At the last step, I met Michael Thompson's eyes. He had been standing there all along. My earlier bravado immediately collapsed. Damn it, could he have heard everything? Michael Thompson looked at me calmly, his voice indifferent. Get in the car. Completely different from his gentle, coaxing attitude last night. I carefully followed him, and just before getting in the car, I secretly grabbed his shirt hem. He paused and tilted his head to look at me. What's wrong? I pressed my lips together and whispered. I didn't mean that earlier. He raised an eyebrow. Huh? I spoke even more quietly. I only said that to annoy him. Michael Thompson looked at me and suddenly laughed. I don't mind. Thinking of last night, my face immediately flushed. Although we hadn't gone all the way, there had been some intimate contact. So, I couldn't say I was making it up. In contrast, Michael Thompson remained calm as if nothing had happened, focusing on work as usual, strictly separating personal and professional matters. I secretly glanced at him, then sent a message to a close friend. What do you think people are like when they kiss but don't want to take responsibility? Cold, distant, pretending nothing happened. My friend asked curiously. Wait, so Michael Thompson kissed you? Not further? Not yet. The secretary called. My friend thought for a moment. Then texted. Maybe try again? Everything goes smoother the second time. While I was still calculating whether to try again, Michael Thompson's sudden voice startled me. The schedule changed. Want to come with me to a party tonight? I blinked, a bit nervous. Okay. After work, I'll pick you up. The evening party was a business gathering held at a private, elegant restaurant. About 7 or 8 guests. All well-known figures in the circle. Everyone could bring a companion. James Carter and Lisa Miller were also present. As soon as Michael Thompson entered, everyone immediately stood and greeted him. The atmosphere lively. Mr. Thompson, finally you brought your fiancée for us to meet. Only James Carter remained seated, his cold eyes fixed on me as I followed Michael Thompson. Next to him, Lisa Miller's face showed obvious displeasure. Michael Thompson and James Carter's eyes met in a flash. Though silent, I almost saw sparks flying between them. Then Michael Thompson lightly smirked, his voice calm. Yes, I finally got what I wanted after chasing for so long. The whole table burst into laughter. No wonder you never got involved with anyone all these years. It's because you already had someone in your heart. Right. Liked her since school days. His tone was straightforward as he held my hand and pulled me down to sit opposite James Carter. The atmosphere suddenly tensed. James Carter snorted coldly, scoffing. Liked her since college? Then why didn't you stay with her back then? Could it be because she didn't like you? The atmosphere grew strange. Everyone turned to look at me, eyes curious, waiting for an answer. I scratched my head and looked innocent. Back then my eyesight was bad. Oh, so it's for medical treatment? The whole table seemed to realize. Nodding and laughing. If your eyes are bad, you should see a good doctor. Michael Thompson laughed out loud. James Carter's face was dark and stiff. Very quickly, the conversation shifted from personal matters to work issues. Many kept raising their glasses to toast Michael Thompson. But few could get him to actually take a sip. Until a small company owner, while toasting, accidentally said, "Wishing you both a lifetime of happiness." This time, Michael Thompson unexpectedly raised his glass. "Thank you." At that moment, the whole table seemed enlightened. From then on, everyone ended their toast with a blessing. He didn't refuse anyone. Seeing the amount of wine in his glass slowly dwindle, I discreetly tugged his sleeve. "Hey, drink less." Michael Thompson lowered his eyes to look at me. His gaze so intent I felt shy. Only then did he speak. "Sorry, no more drinking tonight. Family is unhappy." Everyone immediately laughed, and the atmosphere became even livelier. It seemed his mood was good. As he bent down to peel shrimp for me, those beautiful hands were covered in a light red sauce. With a few simple movements, a clean shrimp piece was placed in my bowl. "That's too much. I can't eat it all." "Yeah." He said nothing more. I took a wet towel and gently wiped his hands. The alcohol clinging to his skin made his gaze slightly dreamy. He was motionless, staring at my hand holding his, lost in thought. At that moment, Lisa Miller suddenly spoke up. "We and Emily are classmates." "Oh really?" Everyone's attention instantly shifted, clearly very interested in our past. Lisa smiled brightly, her tone full of meaning. Emily was beautiful, and in college there were always many boys around her. A great connection, part of the student union, favored by the teachers, study materials, extracurricular activities, always prioritized. She was really talented. That last sentence sounded like praise but clearly carried sarcasm. Especially since Michael Thompson did not deny it, causing people to unconsciously think otherwise. "Miss Turner is so beautiful. It's only natural." Some businessmen smiled and asked, "Are you currently working at Mr. Thompson's company?" My smile faded. "No." "Where do you work then?" I stared at Lisa, a slight smirk on my lips. "At Rongsheng, Product Research Department." As soon as I finished, the entire table fell silent instantly. Lisa's face turned pale. "Wait, Rongsheng? The company is listed on the US stock market? Specializes in robotics?" "Yeah. Their robotic arm control system is very powerful." Those knowledgeable became interested and started explaining to others. Lisa forced a smile. "Emily, if I remember correctly, you didn't study this field?" I curled my lips, calmly replied, "I have 2 bachelor's degrees. Then switched majors and got a master's." "You probably don't know." Everyone immediately understood. "Oh wow, I thought Miss Turner won because of her looks. Who knew she was actually capable?" Someone joked. "Teachers have resources but they have to give them to the right person. If you don't have ability, no matter how much support you get, it's useless." Lisa stiffened, trying to maintain a calm expression. A business leader waved his hand and smiled. "Miss Lisa, you probably don't know. Rongsheng doesn't care how many extracurricular activities you join. They only want actual research results. If you don't have brains, you can't make products. Besides, if you had no ability, why would the school favor you? Clearly, you have potential." This comment was just an ordinary remark but hit Lisa's sore spot. Her face turned deathly pale, unable to say another word. After that, the topic gradually shifted, somehow turning into a promotion for my company's products. When the party ended, it was nearly 10 at night. As Michael Thompson and I left, James Carter also followed outside. Standing at the door, he called to me, "Emily Turner, your company." I immediately understood his intent. Tilting my head, I calmly said, "Sorry. Our company also carefully selects clients. Those who want to take revenge on someone's family for $20,000. We absolutely do not cooperate." As soon as I finished, Michael Thompson laughed. Without giving James Carter a chance to speak further, I grabbed Michael Thompson's hand and left without looking back. The driver took us to Michael Thompson's apartment. As soon as the door opened, he leaned against the doorframe, motionless. "Come inside." I pulled twice, but he still stood still. "Come here." "What for?" As I stepped forward, he lifted my chin and kissed me. The scent of liquor gently wrapped his breath. His hand brushed past my earlobe, warmth like a slow stream spreading down. My legs went weak, and I collapsed into him. "All day, I just want to kiss you." "Hey, wait, Thompson." He ignored my words, picked me up, and strode into the bedroom. Then threw me onto the bed. "Wait, you haven't taken off your shoes." He bent down, trapping me in a small space, brushing aside my tangled hair, continuing to kiss, heartbeat strong. By the end, I couldn't tell if it was his heart or mine pounding wildly. I wrapped my arms around his neck, voice trembling. "Michael Thompson, you're drunk." The kiss fell on my collarbone, making me gasp in surprise. Heat rippled, spreading throughout my body. "He saw you." Michael Thompson's hand tightened on my waist, voice low, "and bragged that you danced for him. So it was because of James Carter that he got jealous." I felt like crying and laughing. "But you were there too. You watched." "Yeah." He nodded, sighed softly, "Watched but regretted not looking at you longer." Even his earlobes were faintly pink from the alcohol. His collar was undone, his Adam's apple moving gently with each breath. His lips, smudged with lipstick, looked even more seductive. My face burned as if about to ignite. I nestled into him, fingers hooking his shirt buttons. "If you want, I can dance again." He paused, slowly asked, "Your leg?" "It's okay." I lifted his face. A bold thought flashed in my mind. I leaned close to his ear, voice soft as a breeze. "Do you know where the soul of that dance lies?" "At the waist." Michael Thompson suddenly tightened his grip on my waist, pressing me back onto the bed. "You've got a lot of guts." Alcohol made his self-control plummet. I whispered, "So, do you want to watch?" Under my palm, his heartbeat suddenly quickened. He closed his eyes, voice hoarse. "Want to." The door gently closed. Breath mingled with the quiet night. Long and unending. The next morning, when I woke, it was 9 o'clock. I panicked and jumped up, thinking I was late for work. When my leg went limp with a cramp on the floor, I suddenly remembered. Today was the weekend. I had spent the night in Michael Thompson's bed. The chaotic traces of last night had been neatly cleaned up, leaving no evidence. Michael Thompson was nowhere to be seen. I opened my phone and saw his message sent half an hour ago. "Beautiful dance." Now sober and reading it again, I was immediately overwhelmed with embarrassment. I sent several "shut up" stickers in a row. Very quickly, he called me. A voice with a hint of amusement said, "Awake already?" "Yeah, why aren't you home?" "Busy." Voices and chatter came from his side. He continued, "Your keys are hanging by the entrance. Beside the drawer in the bedroom are the marriage certificate and our important documents. There's a spare card inside. Feel free to use it. I'm busy now. Talk later." Oh, so, we officially lived together after marriage? But my belongings hadn't been moved yet. Did I have to ask Michael Thompson myself? At that moment, the doorbell rang. His secretary appeared on the camera screen. "Miss Turner, Mr. Thompson asked if you want to move your things over? If not, you could buy new ones." My earlier worries instantly vanished like smoke. I opened the door, smiling brightly. Of course I want to move them. That whole day, I was busy cleaning and organizing. That evening, just as I was about to eat with Michael Thompson, my boss suddenly called me back to work overtime. "This is a big project from Zhang Corporation. They appointed Miss Turner to lead. If you have difficulties, ask the seniors." I was stunned. I'm not comfortable taking this project. This is the client's request. We have no choice. Miss Turner, hang in there. It was clear my boss was troubled by this too. I suppressed my frustration and nodded. All right, I'll try. Just as I left my office, my phone rang. It was James Carter. For the product design, I have a few requests. I took a deep breath and kept my tone formal. Mr. Zhang, you can send them by email. If it can't be explained clearly, we have to meet and discuss directly. I was so annoyed. I texted Michael Thompson. Is James Carter crazy? Keeps demanding meetings, and I can't even refuse. He replied quickly. Just one word. Okay. Huh? That's it? I sighed, too lazy to argue, and found a modest cafe. Sending James Carter the location. 8 p.m. The cafe wasn't crowded. James Carter pushed open the door, frowning as he looked around. Why pick this place? I calmly sipped coffee and shrugged. I'm poor, too shy, not wanting to waste time. I took out all the documents and opened my laptop. Mr. Zhang, tell me your requests. James Carter was speechless, then narrowed his eyes at me. Emily Turner, are you pretending not to understand or really don't get it? I frowned. Understand what? He took a deep breath, his eyes flashing stubbornly. I want to tell you. Excuse me, is this seat taken? A familiar voice suddenly sounded. Light was blocked by a tall figure. Michael Thompson's cold, familiar voice echoed. As soon as he appeared, all eyes turned to him. The simple, modest cafe was completely unfitting for his aura. My eyes brightened and I smiled radiantly at him. James Carter gritted his teeth, voice full of sarcasm. Do you see any empty seats? Michael Thompson calmly pulled a chair and sat beside me. Too crowded. Sorry, let's share a table. Right behind him. Not a single person. James Carter laughed angrily. Don't tell me it's a coincidence? Can't drink coffee? James Carter sneered. You never drank instant coffee since you were young. Want to try tonight? Michael Thompson and I both looked at James Carter. One gaze seemed to say, got something to say? Go ahead. The other was indifferent. Finished? When are we leaving? Finally, James Carter clenched his fist, slammed the chair, and strode out. The glass door rattled loudly. Moaning, I sighed in relief and stretched. Finally done. Michael Thompson looked at me with a smile full of meaning. I threw myself at him and rubbed. I owe you my life. Michael Thompson cleared his throat softly and whispered in my ear. There are many people. Tell me after you get home. The following months, I endured constant torment from James Carter and Lisa Miller. Every design I submitted was ruthlessly rejected by the two of them. Each time, they caused chaos in front of the bosses. And the bosses always told me to endure for the greater good. The tangled relationship among the three of us gradually became a hot topic in the company. I heard the girl named Lisa Miller is actually Mr. Yang's official girlfriend. And Emily Turner took money from his mother, deliberately playing the mistress to ruin their relationship and cause their breakup. Oh my, isn't she terrifying? Serves her right. Mistresses deserve it. I was standing in the restroom when I heard the gossip from colleagues. Then I pushed the door open and stepped out. The voices immediately stopped, and awkwardness filled the air. They looked embarrassed and forced smiles. Emily, you're here too? I calmly washed my hands. Tone indifferent. Who said these things? Someone in the group stammered. Lisa said, but we don't really believe it. I sneered lightly. Oh, really? That afternoon, a delivery man came to Zhang Corporation. He placed a pre-recorded voice recorder on the reception desk. Recipient, Lisa Miller. She was James Carter's secretary. For 2 years you chased James Carter. I slept with him every day. He dated you just because I found it interesting. Actually, you're the third party. Lisa's words played clearly in the company lobby. That was the recording I secretly made at the previous party. Because she had tricked me before, I had developed a habit of carrying a recorder, just waiting for the chance to strike back. When Lisa hurried down to the lobby, the entire company already knew the whole story. In just a few short days, she earned a new nickname. The one who likes to wear a green hat. A few days later, James Carter's sister came to see me. She went straight to the point. Her tone decisive. With your current ability, you're not suitable to lead this project yet. I'm considering replacing you. The woman sitting opposite me at the round table had sharp eyes. Young, but exuded decisive and strong charisma. I was silent for a moment. Then replied, "You're right." She raised an eyebrow, seemingly surprised. "Don't you see I'm targeting you?" I smiled lightly. "On the contrary, I think it's better for both sides if I'm out of this project." I laid out each design on the table before her. In the past few months, Mr. Zhang has rejected over 10 of my plans. His suggested edits were petty and unprofessional. To be frank, if this continues at this pace, both sides will suffer losses. She silently observed me, then suddenly asked, "James Carter actively harassed you, right?" I nodded. She laughed, eyes full of disdain. "Hopeless. He still says you cling to him, begging him to give you the project. Don't get me wrong, I only care about the family's affairs." I looked at her and softly replied, "I understand." Our eyes met. A second later, she reached out to me with a smile. "Zhang Duang." I shook her hand, nodding. "Emily Turner. Nice to meet you." I spent the whole morning presenting my design ideas to Zhang Duang. She was far more competent than James Carter. Her working style was concise and efficient. Within a few hours, the draft was complete. "Ms. Zhang Duang, some parts are really beyond my ability. I suggest you consult my seniors for further optimization." She looked at me with admiration. "Emily, the project leader will change. But you will remain on the team. This is our request." I was surprised but quickly bowed and thanked her. "Thank you, I will try my best." We went downstairs together. Just outside the door, Zhang Duang suddenly said, "I've also heard about the situation between James Carter and Lisa Miller. The company is buzzing with rumors." I was a bit embarrassed. "Sorry for causing you trouble." She laughed. "No trouble at all. Do you think James Carter and I are on the same side?" I was stunned. "Huh?" She looked at me, a sly smile on her lips. "There can only be one heir in the Zhang family. So, do you want to cooperate with me?" I thought for a few seconds, then slowly replied, "You mean, a cooperation to bring bad luck to James Carter, right?" Zhang Duang smiled satisfactorily, eyes brightening. "Exactly." I smiled and decisively extended my hand. "I agree." "Emily." Michael Thompson's voice echoed. I turned to look at him. He leaned against the car door, as if waiting for a while. Zhang Duang was momentarily stunned. "You know him?" Michael Thompson stepped forward, extending his hand to Zhang Duang. "Hello, I'm her husband." Zhang Duang paused for a second. Her gaze flicked between me and him, then sighed with regret. "So you two are married?" "Yes, married." Michael Thompson's voice was icy, emotionless. Zhang Duang quickly regained composure and nodded. "Emily, see you again." "Yes. Goodbye, Ms. Zhang Duang." Watching her car leave, I withdrew my gaze and quietly pondered the change in her expression earlier. I turned to Michael Thompson and asked directly, "Hey, do you know Zhang Duang? Why so informal?" He grabbed my hand and pulled me toward the car. I sensed something was off and tilted my head to look at him. "Be honest. Are you hiding something from me?" "No." His voice was slightly stiff. "Don't overthink." Back home, the more I thought, the more it felt wrong. So I firmly pushed him down on the sofa. "She's not your ex-girlfriend, right?" Michael Thompson's temple twitched slightly. He sighed. "Emily Turner, what exactly is in your head?" I pouted, not caring. "Anyway, you're mine now." Saying that, I kissed him. Michael Thompson chuckled softly. His eyes softened. "Since I went to pick you up after work, shouldn't I be rewarded with a dinner from my wife?" I propped my chin and slowly nodded. "Yeah, I guess so." As I slid off him, I accidentally hit the remote. Turning on the TV, an entertainment news ticker ran. "Recently, media discovered Miss Zhang Duang, entering and exiting a hotel with a woman." Zhang Duang responded, "Just friends." I was bending down to find my slippers when I read the news and was so shocked I jumped up. "Huh?" Looking at Michael Thompson, he had an awkward expression. I gaped. Zhang Duang, she. Still call her, she. Michael Thompson mercilessly covered my mouth with his hand. His voice held a hint of annoyance. Both Zhang sisters are equally troublesome. The project progressed smoothly. By late autumn, over half the research and development was complete. One early morning, as I said goodbye to Michael Thompson at the company, I saw Lisa Miller waiting for me at the door. She looked terrible. Thin, disheveled hair, dry ends, looking as if she had been tortured. She stopped me, her voice trembling. Emily, can you help me? I narrowed my eyes and looked at her suspiciously. What's wrong with you? Before she could speak, tears streamed down her face. Can you tell them that the recording is fake? That you fabricated the story? I immediately pushed her away coldly. Do you know what you're saying? If I said that, I'd be the one in trouble. She clenched her fists, trying to look pitiful. I know I was wrong. Emily, now the whole company laughs at me. I really admit my mistake. I looked at her calmly and asked. So, your forgery to help me get that scholarship. Do you dare to admit it? She froze, lips trembling, face pale. Impossible. If I admit my reputation, I interrupted, voice indifferent. You caused this public relations disaster yourself. You take your bitter medicine. And don't say, sorry, to me. Not long after, Zhang Corporation had a major incident. James Carter suddenly got removed from his position. The day Zhang Duang took over as company chair, she invited Michael Thompson and me out to dinner. Upon meeting, she handed me a bouquet of fresh flowers. Emily, thank you. Michael Thompson stood beside her, coldly snorting and taking the bouquet. Zhang Duang glanced at him and said with a smile, if not for your article, I wouldn't have won so easily. To defeat James Carter, Zhang Duang attacked from many angles. She found messages between her stepmother and Lisa Miller. That $20,000 actually came from her stepmother's card. With evidence in hand, I wrote a sincere, detailed post on social media. Within weeks, it spread everywhere. The truth of that year was exposed. Under Zhang Duang's arrangement, the alliance between Lisa Miller and her stepmother completely collapsed. Actually, lately he's in big trouble again. Zhang Duang said as she stepped forward. My curiosity was piqued, so I followed. What happened? She sneered. Lisa Miller is pregnant. At first, she was almost guaranteed to marry into the Zhang family. But because of your post, she argued with my stepmother. I gasped. Pregnant? Zhang Duang nodded and continued calmly. Seeing no hope, Lisa Miller demanded money from James Carter. You know that idiot was brainwashed by his mother. He thinks everyone around him is after his money. Angry, he took Lisa Miller to the hospital and forced her to abort. Now Lisa Miller is suing him for forced abortion. I shuddered. That's illegal, right? Zhang Duang laughed coldly, eyes full of disgust. Since my stepmother entered the Zhang family, my family has never been peaceful. Now locking James Carter in jail, we finally have peace. No wonder Lisa Miller looked so terrible that day. She probably had no way out and came begging me. Losing James Carter, she was disgraced and couldn't survive in the elite circle anymore. Zhang Duang tilted her head, appraising me from head to toe. Sister, your taste in men isn't good either. Why didn't you choose Michael Thompson in college? I glanced back quietly. Michael Thompson was on the phone. His brow slightly furrowed but his eyes never left me. I cleared my throat, feigning indifference. He was a bit cold back then. I thought he hated me. Zhang Duang laughed, eyes full of meaning. I was confused why she reacted that way. Come to think of it, Michael Thompson and I have actually been friends since childhood. Let me show you this? I nodded excitedly. Sounds good. Actually, that meal was a business meeting Zhang Duang arranged with Michael Thompson. After eating, she pulled me into the car. All mysterious. She handed me a gift box and smiled. A wedding gift for you. I felt the weight, not too heavy, and was about to open it when she stopped me. Open it at home. I suddenly thought of something and blushed. Could it be what I was thinking? Knock knock. The car door was gently tapped. I looked up to see Michael Thompson standing outside. Let's go home. I quickly hugged the gift box and replied. Oh, Zhang Duang winked mysteriously, signaling to keep it a secret, then waved goodbye. On the way home, I held the wedding gift tightly like a treasure. Michael Thompson glanced at it a few times, a smile playing at his lips. What's that? I was cautious. Don't mind it. It's from Ms. Zhang Duang. Then stammered. Only I'm allowed to see it. He didn't ask more, just quietly replied, okay. But the smile on his lips couldn't be hidden. At home, I pushed him into the bathroom and urged, go take a shower. Then I sneaked out to the small balcony and opened the gift box. But what appeared was completely unexpected. Not a sexy item, nor a glamorous dress, but an old-style video camera and a memory card. I was puzzled and inserted the memory card into the camera. Fully charged, the camera turned on automatically. Inside were more than 10 video clips. I excitedly played the earliest one. In the frame, a boy about 10 years old wore a birthday hat. Face cold and distant. Happy birthday, little Thompson. The boy wasn't happy. Voice flat. Thanks. Little Thompson, what's your birthday wish? No wish. His cheeks were a bit chubby, often pinched by others. The camera shook lightly. Zhang Duang appeared, pinched his cheek, and laughed loudly. The second video showed Michael Thompson slightly older, at what seemed like a spring picnic. He held a small chair, sitting beside a pond, head bowed reading a book. Completely different from other children. Zhang Duang came to tease him but was coldly shooed away. The following videos all showed Michael Thompson growing up. Strict, self-disciplined, boring. It seemed his life path was set from birth. Each year, Zhang Duang asked the same question. What's your wish? The answer was always the same. No wish. The video jumped to the time just before we graduated. It was also the last time this camera recorded. Zhang Duang, as usual, smiled and asked, little Thompson, what's your wish this year? This time, Michael Thompson looked straight into the lens. For the first time, he changed his answer. To marry someone. Zhang Duang was briefly surprised, then teased with a laugh. Oh, little Thompson, don't say it so soon. Are you sure you can get married? I can. 3 words, firm and confident, no hesitation. I glanced at the date. At that time, I hadn't broken up with James Carter yet. The sound in the bathroom? I didn't know when it had stopped. My heart skipped a beat. I turned and caught his gaze on me. In the dim night light, those eyes were deep, reflecting a quiet glow. I swallowed and stammered. Michael Thompson, when did you come out? A while ago. He wore a bathrobe, sitting very close to me, relaxed and leisurely, but his eyes were like a predator who had just seen its prey caught itself. I'm holding this. I see. He glanced down at the last frame stopped on the camera. Eyes flicked over the date. Then smirked. Very nice gift. I was a bit startled and stammered. So, do you have anything to explain? Michael Thompson slowly stood and approached me. There's nothing to explain. I was cornered, stepping back slowly. Eventually, I was pressed against the balcony window sill. The night breeze blew in, softly tossing my hair. The scent of osmanthus flowers wafted from the thick trees outside, rich and intoxicating. So, you finally found out. His voice was soft, mixed with laziness and casualness. Then he bent down and kissed my earlobe. Warm and moist, easily triggering every sensitive nerve. My heartbeat scrambled, voice whispering. But at that time, I hadn't broken up yet. He chuckled softly. I never said I was a good person. To pursue someone, of course you rely on your own strength. You were wrong? Suddenly, he bit me, voice hoarse. Wrong? Nobody ever taught me that. Sorry. His tone lacked any sincerity. His actions were completely reckless and arrogant. I suddenly remembered something, eyes brightening. So when I just came back to the country, you were already waiting at the airport. Because. He raised an eyebrow and casually twirled my hair around his finger. Could it be you go back to James Carter? Emily Turner. I'm not that generous. Then he looked up, voice low. Look up. Let me kiss you. Moonlight poured down like a thin stream of water. The last gardenias had withered. Only the osmanthus blossomed brightly, yellow and radiant. We kissed under the moonlight. Time seemed to rewind many years back. At an outdoor autumn ball, Michael Thompson arrived late, sat in the front row. The music was just starting. Dim light covering the stage. I stood beneath the osmanthus tree, my dress fluttering in the wind. By chance, my skirt brushed his fingertips. A warm, soft flower petal fell into his palm. Emily. Michael Thompson softly called my name. His slender fingers slowly opened before my eyes. Under the gentle moonlight, I saw in his palm a tiny osmanthus flower quietly resting.